Hello. This is a really important live. I'm super excited to be on. And today I'm going to be joining one of my sacred soul sisters, Lindsay Martin Ellis. And we are just going to find her on here and get her on with us. Hello. It's been so long since I've done a live like this. This is fun, but also it's like this is going to be really, really good. I cannot wait till she joins us. I've gone over to her. All right. Let me see. All right. Okay, we have some things happening here. Okay. There's Lindsay. Let's see if we can get her on here. Hi! Yay, we did it!
Hi, I was having technical difficulties.
Just for, yeah, it was taking a little while to get to it, but it's all
We
right.
did
We're just
it.
gonna we're gonna let all the blood just rush back into my body and
Were you in look, and my hair, can we just take a collective breath and just
yeah.
let go of the tech and the fact that my hair is doing whatever my hair
Your
wants
hair
to
is
do?
beautiful. But yes, let's take a deep breath in and just do some grounding real quick. Ready? Let's take a deep inhale and an audible exhale. Grounding into our space, calling in our guides and allies to be present with us while we share deeply from our hearts and get to share in this exciting time. And yes, I'm super grateful. I feel like you and I have just been tracking our journeys, our lives have just been tracking. Like, I moved across the country to come to North Carolina. You moved across the country to come to North Carolina. Very pregnant, both of us very pregnant, and with these incredible, majestic baby boys, and the incredible men that hold us. And I love, like, even our little polarities that we've come to discover about ourselves. It just seems like there's so much that we're learning from one another, and I just see you as such an incredible mentor and incredible sister, and it's just such an honor to be on this journey with you.
Thank you. Right back at you, sister. And I do want to share as it relates to our human design and gene keys, we have it's like the half birthday
Yeah,
energy. So we're like exactly born 6 months
yeah,
apart, which I find interesting that we're tracking in so many ways, but really, when it comes to the genetic makeup of who we are at a soul level, we we mirror each other in so many ways, and I believe that that's no accident.
yeah,
And I'm just so grateful to have you as an ally and as a sister, especially in the ethereal realms and in the internet world, and also that we get to be so geographically close to one another during this time.
yes.
So thank you for
And
having me on your beautiful
of
page.
course, I know, I feel like I'm back doing my podcast. I kind of miss it.
Yeah.
um But yeah, I feel like, I mean, this is such a powerful time to be a woman on this sacred journey of awakening. And I think that a lot of the women in the communities that I'm a part of have been feeling a level of intensity that's happening right now that has almost felt like a pressure. I've heard it described as like a crux point, you know, like where there's like a fork in the road, and either I could go back to the old ways, I could go back to doing things how through my patterning, through my conditioning, or maybe there's this other way. And I feel a lot of women right now are in that point. And you know, we're on
Are
this.
you in that point? I'm
Yes.
in that point. Okay. I'm just
I'm
making
so
sure.
in that point. I mean,
Yeah.
well, so even my journey, and I'll keep it super brief, but like my journey has been a super slowing down. There's been this motherhood has been this like deep integral slowdown for me so that I could learn how to slow down and not always need to have that like that high energy of get shit doneness, right? But also to be able to like penetrate energy wise, right? Like it's a slow moving, but also um, learning more deep ways of listening, more deep ways of attuning to my intuition and leading from that place, guiding from that place. And yeah, there's a lot of exciting things happening. And I'm trusting, so deeply trusting all of the connections that are coming into my field right now. And there are no accidents. There have been so many synchronicities. And I think that's been happening for those of us who are awake and alive to it. I feel like the next iteration of humanity is going to be so deeply reliant on collaboration, on connection, on I am not here to do this alone. I'm taking you with me who's coming.
Aquarian age. And
Exactly. Here we are.
I know who I am. That's the reorientation. I know who I am. I know how I serve. I know how I show up in love. And therefore, who's coming with me?
Yeah.
Meaning we're all individuated. We're all unique expressions of the divine. We all know who we are, our path, why we're here, our mission, our dharma, how we get to be in relationship, and we get to do it together. So,
Yeah.
and nobody's going to do the work for us. And this is so much of what we're going to be talking about today. It's like God's got us, however we want to identify with the divine, God, source, higher power,
Yeah.
this infinite intelligence. God's got us, and nobody's going to do it but us.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And it's a deep calling, you
Yeah.
know.
Yes. So thank you for
Of
having me and for
course.
sharing. And
Of
yeah, we're all
course.
in it. Nobody is above the pressure cooker that we're all in. And we're all feeling it. And I believe there's no other option
Yeah.
but to say yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Mm.
just, I mean, it is about saying yes to the small voice, right? The voice that's inside, the voice of our intuition, that is leading us in the direction of our fullest expression of our emergence into who we came here to be in this world. And I'm excited to hear about your retreat coming up called Emergence. That's what this entire live is about. And I wanted to just hear from you, like, paint me the picture.
Yeah.
Paint me the picture for the women who are feeling really called to evolve in that way.
Yeah, well, emergence. What When we hear the word emergence, we often, at least for me, think of the caterpillar moving through the chrysalis and knowing what the caterpillar signs up for and going into the void and going into the darkness and knowing that essentially the caterpillar is compartmentalized in such a way that it turns into this goo. There is just so much surrender.
Yeah.
And the when you actually break down the word sur and render, it means melt into something higher. And so for me, emergence is like
Ooh.
the willingness to melt
To
into the goo,
yeah.
to sign up for the little tiny death, because death is the ultimate rebirth. And on the other side of that is a totally new being, but at the core, still the exact same components
Yeah.
and heart
Yeah.
and lifeblood and life force and genetic makeup. And when I've been to Santorini, and it's been over 10 years, and this is for the woman who is willing. Like, this is for those who are already doing the work, who are in a healing time, but also in a transformative time, in a catalyzing time, in a time where you really feel on purpose, where you feel in your body, where you feel this deep, deep, deep sense of power in serving yourself and serving humanity. And that willingness to be in sisterhood, to say, what am I going to leave here at this very sacred ley line that is just this massive volcano that has this ability to hold us in what we're laying down. And in the same breath, this beautiful, exquisite, expansive energy. Like, when people are in Santorini, it's like elegance and eloquence and
Yeah.
expansiveness. And that is the butterfly. It is our divine magnificence.
Yeah.
So you get to die, and it doesn't mean that it needs to be painful, but there's something that is asking to be transmuted.
Yeah.
We're going to be in this boutique hotel that has actual caves. Like, it was built around the caves of the volcano.
Wow.
Where women actually used to birth their babies. So we're going to be doing this sacred work
Wow.
of rebirth with harnessing that energy.
Wow.
And so if you're feeling like, okay, I'm ready to lay this thing down that is no longer serving, I'm ready to unite in sisterhood and to let myself be seen and to practice being an expansion and being in my body and using my voice and sharing my stories and allowing my sacred gifts to really come online in deeper ways.
Yeah.
So some of the women may just be getting a taste of what those spiritual gifts are, and other women are here to amplify it even more. And we're all going to be in this beautiful dance and this beautiful orchestra of harmonizing. What do I get to lay down, which is serving the collective, and what we get to lay down as a culture, as a society, and what is it that we are bringing light to, so that we can evolve. So that hopefully answered your question.
Yes. Yeah. And, you know, because you talked about, and I've seen this in your content a little bit, talking about the ley lines. Can you tell us about that specific, because I know that as, you know, as a woman who's open to, you know, open on the awakening journey, there are places where there's almost this sort of like remembrance. Is that kind of what you're talking about? Like, why am I being drawn to this place?
Yeah. So what my higher self has shown me, that, right, as at a soul level, and again, we all believe different things. Like, I believe that we all come here with wisdom and experiences and memories from our previous incarnations. And so we all are, it's like a treasure hunt is the way that I describe it, of like, my soul left me clues all around the world.
Yeah.
And for those of us that identify as those on the priestess path, the devotional path, the beauty way, there's specific ley lines around the world that support us in activating our voice or anchoring, you know, into our bodies in deeper ways, or whatever it is. And I believe that Greece in particular, like, is very much connected to the oracular arts, singing, right? Like the oracles, being able to feel intuitively what is being asked of us and sharing it. And for me personally, I don't want to like project, like, that may not be everybody's experience, but that's one of the reasons why I know I am going back there, is to reconnect with that ancient part of me that gets to come online in deeper ways. A lot of the ways that I connect is through the body, through storytelling, through sharing my experience, and through light language, right? For you sing. I mean, there's so many ways, like the breath work, the singing, right? And so I believe that because we are made up of the same minerals of this planet, like, I am not separate than the mountain that I'm staring at outside of my window. And so when we can go to these sacred lands, the power that they hold in our remembrance that we are also that power too.
Yeah.
And so that's why I believe that we're called to specific areas to help us connect with the ancient parts of us that are ready to be activated in deeper ways, but also to hold us in saying, you are also that. You are a child of God, just like the mountain, just like the tree, just like the volcano, just like all of these historic sites all over the world that were created for us to continue to remember.
Yeah.
But that's going to be different for all of us. But that's why I'm going back to like
Yeah.
activate my voice in deeper ways. It feels very, very
Yeah.
pertinent for sure.
No, I love that because it's like I've gotten a little bit into the astrocartography and understanding a little bit about, like when we were in California, that for me was very much like a spiritual portal for me. And I didn't know this at first, right? Like I only got into it like, a few 5 or so years ago. Um, but I learned that that was like the place where my intuition was going to be activated. That was going to be a very deep, symbolic, spiritual awakening. That's exactly what that was for. And then as we moved out here, it became a place for home, a place for community, a place for groundedness and rootedness. And so I can, and understanding where those are for you, the gift that a particular geographical place can have for you. I love that.
Well, and I found out that I am meant to be in this specific part of the world. Like my Saturn line goes right through Western North Carolina. And
Mm-hmm.
somebody sent that to me after I had already moved. And I remember people asking me, like, why are you so drawn to the Blue Ridge Mountains? And I just, both my husband and I felt it.
Yeah.
And I think this is an important like segue to go into is that so much of this retreat, like we have these tools outside of us for a reason. We have mentors, we have books, we have astrology, we have so much human design. We have the gene keys, we have spiritual mentors, and we have friends, we have allies, we have sisters. But ultimately, I specifically didn't want to know my astrocartography because I didn't want anyone or anything telling me something that was either like that. I didn't want anyone telling me like, no, you're not supposed to be in Western North
Right.
Carolina at this time because
Exactly.
it felt
Yeah.
so strongly.
Has to
And
come
I
from
think that's
here.
yeah, I think that's an important thing that so much of the work that we're going to be doing there is in the reorientation of the mind serving the heart, of the masculine serving the feminine. It's not men serving women, but it is
Mm-hmm.
that part of us that knows. And then there's like the affirmation of, ooh,
Mm-hmm.
perfect, I'm on path versus you tell me where to live.
Yeah.
You tell me what to do for a living. You tell me what relationship I get to be in. And that feels very, very important during this time in
Yeah.
terms of what you mentioned, the Aquarian age of individuated expression and knowing who we are and doing it together in
Yeah.
community.
And for a lot of us, it's leading from a very different place, right? It's a place that we're just learning about. We're just kind of exploring, like, what is this? But I feel like it's happening, right? And if you're on this journey and you know what I'm talking, like, there are going to be people watching this who know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, I feel this, like, wanting to express more freely into, and lead with the feminine energy inside of us, right? Because we know that there's an integration, there's a balance of both, and the masculine patriarchal type of energy has been leading us for thousands of years now. Yeah. So tell me about, you talked about doing some somatic work in this retreat, and I know a lot of women who have understood that the power of what our bodies can hold.
Yeah.
So what's going to be happening there?
It's so interesting. This feels important. I was, one of our dear sisters, Sasha, connected me with this other woman who is living in Spain, and she has a beautiful resume. Like she's just an amazing soul and just a beautiful woman. And she used to do a lot of work with Joe Dispenza, with Dr. Joe Dispenza. And we all
Yeah.
know who Dr. Joe Dispenza is. And she
Yes.
said, like, I used to work so closely with him and it's beautiful work in mind and about like being somewhere else, right? And it's really connecting to the ethereal realms in deeper ways to the point where we almost leave our bodies. And she
Yes.
said she had a powerful birth experience. I know you and I are mamas and had powerful birth experiences as well. And so much of her work is coming back into the body. And I believe that that is that reorientation piece, is that like, if we are not in our bodies, all of that other stuff doesn't work.
Yeah.
We get to be here now in this vessel that is the home to our soul. And if we are not in our bodies, we don't have direct access and understanding and like the awareness of where do I get to go. So I believe that the first piece, through breath, through sound, through movement, through practice of feeling our emotions, through practice of being in relationship with what's in front of us at that very moment in time, learning to create safety, safe containers to feel, so that we can go, okay, I'm in my body. Like, okay, I'm connected to my heart. Okay, now how can I vision? Okay, now where can I play in the other realms? Okay, now what's next? And I believe it is the first piece of beginning to know ourselves again. And it's very simple, but it's not easy. And it does take repetition, because there's so many patterns, as you talked about at the beginning of this, of the places that we go when we're expanding our capacity. Like, I'm in it right now where I'm expanding my capacity. I'm such in a creative time. I have so many ideas. I'm so lit up. I'm so inspired. I'm the primary caregiver to my 13-month-old son. And I'm noticing the thought and the pattern, reaching for the chocolate, going to make the caffeine. Why am I all of a sudden craving this thing? Why am I feeling tired and feeling like I want to snap?
Yeah.
And it's because I'm at this new baseline. And so there's this awareness that begins to happen of like, oh, there it is again, not making myself wrong for it. But it's like, of course I'm stretching, so it's easier to go back into patterns that don't serve. So the more that we can practice being in our bodies, we can consciously, like you said, slow down to say, do I really want that thing? Like, who's actually running the show here? Who's actually making that decision? And I believe that that is the way forward, is in our bodies, so that we can connect to our hearts, and then allow our minds to support with the brilliance and the intelligence and the visioning of what we're calling forward.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a body first, intellect later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Is there anything else you wanted to share about Greece for those who are thinking about it, maybe on the fence, maybe not sure about if they can invest in themselves in this way?
Yeah, so the retreat is I'll just share a little more detail about when it is and all of that fun stuff. It's May 25th through 31st. We're about 2 months out when we're recording this. And these are very uncertain times. And I should say that that's a bit of a caveat, because when is life certain? Ever?
Yeah.
However, the thing that we're being asked as a collective to shine the light on is, right, instability and the shakiness of the ground underneath us. And what is required is presence, and what is required is slowing down, and what is required is this is a world where they're saying, hunker down, don't spend money, it's not safe to go out there.
Right.
And so this is really for those heeding the call to do the work. If your soul is calling you to expand your money story, to expand your safety story, because it's an opportunity when there's so much noise telling you you want to stay here, you want to do this, to expand your capacities of what you know is possible. And so I believe if you're feeling this in any way, before the money, before the like, what will my partner say, or before the there's no way, the kids, what does it feel like home in your body to experience a transformative retreat like this, and remove yourself from the everyday in order to emerge into what your soul is calling you forth at this time. So I'll put the link below. I'll put my email address below, and definitely when we connect, let me know that you connected through Lauren, and we'll just have a conversation, because what I'm a stand for is supporting you in making the decision that's based on your highest timeline above all else. That's what I'm a stand for.
Yeah.
Because when we do that, then that is going to support the quickening of this evolutionary epoch that we're a part of right now.
Yeah.
So thank you for having me and for sharing.
Of course.
And for your medicine, for you.
Yeah.
I mean, can I just like love on you for 1 second?
Sure.
I know that Lauren is in the process of conjuring up so many new offerings and behind the scenes and publicly. And she's shared just so much with me about her journey and the willingness to go there, the patience, the unwavering faith, the groundedness, this ability. You and I have had so many conversations of being able to look at multiple perspectives and come from this curious lens, which this is a very polarizing time. And that is a true gift, to be able to have people with different religious or spiritual views or political views or socioeconomic backgrounds or whatever it is, and to be able to see that person, and to, even if that's not your story or you don't understand it, to be able to have a conversation and to bring curiosity and love and wisdom and understanding. And I just feel, especially since you've moved to North Carolina and had your son, like there's no rush. I feel like you are just staying the course. And it's been very beautiful to witness. And I've seen some other friends, because my soul's a little impatient, let me just say. Like, I call in a lot of very patient people. My soul's like, let's go. And so it's beautiful to see. I have several women in my life, and you're one of them, where I can feel behind the scenes like this conjuring, and then when it just all gets revealed, it is where for me, I'm kind of like bootstrapping it into my scrappy energy, and it's just like do, and that's just what my soul is calling me for. So it's like very refreshing to witness you, and just the welcoming of what's next for you with such stability and rootedness and groundedness. And I invite you to just keep watching what Lauren's up to, because what she's creating is truly coming from the depths of you. And it's very timely, and I cannot wait until your emergence, when you're ready to share and start serving. And I'll be bringing you on my platform and inviting you in.
I can't wait. And I'm on this journey right now, learning patience. I'm learning trust. I'm learning surrender. I'm learning this sacred pause, and really leaning into what is aligned. And so it's been just such a pleasure to be on this journey with you. And thank you. I see you. I love you.
I love you. Thank you for having me. And I'm looking forward to connecting with your community.
Yes. In due time.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye-bye.